two types of titles that you see a lot in video is the credit sequence, where the text scrolls vertically, and then we also have what we see now on news and sports channels, where we see a lot of text scrolling horizontally at the bottom of the page. So Premiere allows us to do both of those quite easily. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the credit sequence first. So at the end of this little soccer video clip from YouTube, we're going to add a credit sequence. To do that, I'm going to go to Title, I'm going to get a new title, and I'm going to go to Default Roll. So default roll will be the vertical scrolling that we are used to seeing at the end of movies and items like that. Once again, we want the width and height to be exactly what we're working with, and it's DVD power widescreen, so that's correct, and I'm going to call this credits and hit OK. So what we see is our title sequence screen that we saw a bit earlier. However, now we can see the background video that would be playing at the time. So at the moment, I just want to create the credit sequence without seeing the video so it doesn't distract me. So at the top right hand corner here, I'm going to click on the button that says Show Background Video, and that will give it a transparent background. Now for this, instead of just hitting the text tool, I'm actually going to do Area Type tool. And it's going to allow me to click and drag an area of text that I want to create. So in there, I'm going to quickly type in a credit sequence. So we'll say director. And you'll notice now after I've pressed enter after actors, you can't actually see what I'm typing in anymore. That's because we've run out of space. So what I'll need to do is, I'll need to press the control key on my keyboard and hold that down, which will allow me to expand my box. And now we will see the actors as I'm typing them in. Don't worry too much about the scrolling yet, that'll come later. Let's just quickly get some names down. And every time I want to keep adding, I just simply scroll down the screen, hold down control, and continue to add in my names. Now obviously if this was a proper credit sequence, I would make some formatting changes. Enter down a few times so it actually allows all of the current text to scroll off the screen. And I'm going to put a little copyright symbol at the bottom there. So it is obviously copyrighted to YouTube, so I'm going to put the YouTube name there. And to get the copyright up on a PC, you just need to go to the character map, and to get that you simply hold down Alt and press 0169. And that brings up your copyright symbol. So once I'm happy with that, I can have almost a preview of it by quickly looking at what it will look like. And now I'm going to set up the settings. So in the top left hand corner, I'm going to go to Roll Crawl Options. I want this to roll, so to go vertically like a credit sequence. And we have our few options here. So I want it to start off screen. I can have it ease in, ease out. So that pretty much means it's going to come in slowly or go out slowly. So you can actually play around with those if you want the times to speed up or slow down at any point. So I might just say ease out 5 and see what that does to it. I might actually make that ease out a little bit longer so it actually has a bit more of an effect, and I'll add a bit of post roll to make it look a little bit more realistic as it's finishing its sequence. I'm going to press OK on that, and I'm going to once again close this. I'm going to click and drag my credit sequence down to my video layer, and let's have a preview at how that looks. And we will hopefully get the YouTube copyright. Yep, it slowed down. It didn't slow down anywhere near as enough as I would have liked. So what I would do there is I would simply go back in and once again go to my options. I would probably double the ease out, and I might make the post roll 40 and have a look at that credit sequence again. And this time the YouTube slows down a lot longer before it fades away. So I'm pretty happy with that credit sequence. The last thing I could do there is I could enlarge it, not really enlarge it, but make it run longer. So I can make that run as long as I want, and then that will obviously also slow down the credit sequence as it plays, which makes it a little bit easier to read. If we quickly go back into Title, New, Default Crawl, we'll call this News. And we could do the exact same thing here, except this time we'll be working with a crawl effect. So once again, I'll do an area type. This time, however, instead of worrying about horizontal. Sorry, instead of worrying about vertical, I'm going to worry about horizontal. So a horizontal scroll this time. So once again, I'm going to go to my options. This time I'm going to say crawl right. We'll start off screen and make the exact same things that I was doing before. Hit OK. I'm going to close that. So to insert that, I'm just going to click and drag it onto a separate layer. And if I was to play the video, we would see it scroll across the screen there. Now to make this look more official, I would need to change the positioning on the screen to the bottom of the screen, and I would also probably want to, back in the title card options, add a background to it to make it much more official. So I could once again re-edit that by going into it. I might add a box to the background. I would then also want to select my box and bring it down right to the bottom of the screen and the text as well. So I'm going to close that once again, and now you'll notice that the positioning has changed, the black box is there, and you could play around with that to make it look much more official. So that's how you get a horizontal scroll at the bottom of the screen.